Good morning, or depending when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, out of Voice Radio. So today, we're going to be looking at pre-releases. Ladies and gentlemen, there are two very good reasons why today we need to be talking about pre-releases. Reason number one, the new set Lost Thunder is coming out in a few weeks, and the pre-releases for that set start today. So I should probably start cluing you lovely ladies and gentlemen in. Reason number two, the lovely Legally Sarcastic over on Patreon, patreon.com/PTCGRadio. He is a supporter. He is the highest tier of supporter. And that means that once per month he gets to demand a video. Go, Wassy, make me this video. And he said, I think it would be interesting to have a video about pre-releases, how to prepare for them, what you should do, how you should make decks. And I thought, you know what? That sounds like fun. So pre-releases then, what you do is you turn up and you get given 6 boosters of the newer set. And what happens is you have to make a deck using just the cards that you find in your 6 boosters. Now, one very, very important point to note, you do not have to supply your own energy. Obviously, even in the sets where you get energy, the chances of getting the right energy from your 6 packs is basically 0. So what you do is basically every store has a box of basic energy that you can borrow. I've never been to a pre-release where they don't have that. So don't worry about that. You just need to go along, they'll give you 6 packs, you make a deck, you borrow the energy. Now, the thing here is, well, hang on a second, how do you go about making a deck? Because one of the things in Pokemon that we actually have is evolution lines. So to take probably my definitely my favourite of all of the cards from Lost Thunder, it's Granbull. I love Granbull. For a single energy, you do 160 damage as long as you've got 0 cards in hand. It's awesome. Issue being, we need Snubbull. And the thing is that if you don't have Snubbull, you can't play Granbull. Now, to be fair, Snubbull's going to be a common card, and Granbull, well, it's going to be an uncommon or a rare, I forget exactly, but you may or may not get them. So, if you end up with 3 Granbull and 2 Snubbull, you can play 2 Snubbull and 3 Granbull, but obviously you're never going to get all 3 Granbull out in one particular game. Similarly, you might want to play something like Ampharos GX. I adore Ampharos GX. The first attack for 1 lightning energy does 30 damage, and you get to take all of the electro power in your discard pile and put them back into your hand. Now, especially in a pre-release, this is ridiculously good. However, you might not get Mareep and Flaffy and Ampharos. It's a stage 2, so you've got to have all the pre-evolutions, and even then, you might get kind of 1 Mareep, 1 Flaffy, 1 Ampharos. The chances of actually getting it out in games is very slim. And even then, it works with Electro Power. And if you pull 2 or 3 Electro Power, then you can just reuse them every single turn, and that's great. But the chances are that you're probably not going to. You might get 1. So you can use evolution lines like normal, but the rules for evolutions in a pre-release are exactly the same as they are in a regular tournament. If you don't pull the pre-evolutions, you cannot play the evolved Pokemon. Sad face. Now, what some people have started doing at pre-releases is, well, Tommy Roberts started it, my good friend Tommy Roberts. Back in the black and white base set, we had Reshiram and we had Zekrom. And these were the kind of chase cards. We didn't have EXs and GXs and all back then. We had Reshiram and Zekrom. And Reshiram did 120 damage for 3 energy, which at the time was phenomenal, and discarded 2. So what Tommy did was he played a deck with 1 Reshiram and 39 energy. And that was it. He would always start Reshiram because he didn't play any other Pokemon. He had to start Reshiram. And he would always have some fire energy in hand. And he'd just attack. He always had Outrage available when Blue Fair wasn't available. And he just went for it. I don't like these. It kind of takes the fun out of it. And look, people did this back when Guzzlord came out. It was quite popular to play Guzzlord and 39 energy. And you know what, ladies and gentlemen? Fine, I suppose. But it's not going to give you or your opponent an entertaining game. It's just not. No one's having fun with that. And here's the great thing about pre-releases. Now, this is not the same for every pre-release. I encourage you to get in touch with your local gaming store to find out exactly what their policy is. But I know a lot of pre-releases, and certainly everyone I've been to, you don't get extra prizes for winning. What you get is another couple packs at the end. 6 packs at the beginning, make a deck, play a little tournament, at the end 2 more packs. Job is a good un. Now, weirdly enough, it used to be, and you're going back years here, but it used to be that if you won a pre-release, you would get a booster box. A box of 36 booster packs for winning. Now, bearing in mind the deck you make, and we'll talk more about this in a second, is largely dependent on the cards that you pull from your packs. That means if you happened to pull good cards, you would have a massive advantage, and then you would win. And that seems a little bit unfair to me. That's not fun, ladies and gentlemen. That doesn't seem right. So because of this, they kind of took it away. Now, what did sometimes happen, and again, I am in no way, shape or form a believer in this or a supporter of this, but you just get groups of 3 or 4 people going along. They pull all of their good cards into one set, and then one player would get a really good deck and then go and win the tournament because he had 4 people's worth of cards, and then the people who chucked in the cards would share the booster box. This happened a lot. It was not cool. It was not fun. It ruined it for everybody. So the prizes were largely taken away. So I keep talking about building decks. How does this work? Well, what happens is you get your 6 packs, but you actually get more than that. Nowadays, you actually get a build and battle set, and you get some pre-made evolution lines. So we talked earlier about the fact that actually you need to get the cards and their evolutions, or else you're not able to play the full evolution line. Now, you still get your packs, and I've been saying 6 packs the whole video. It's 4 packs. Don't worry, ladies and gentlemen. I've put little things on the screen. They've been popping up the whole video. You get 4 packs, but you get your evolution lines. It used to be you just get 6 packs. Now it's 4, but you get your evolution lines as well. So, you know, that's all right. Now, on the one hand, that does mean that you don't get quite the variety you used to, because you get some kind of built-in decks. You know a little bit what you're going to be having, which is a little bit sad. But then again, it does mean that everybody gets a mildly functioning deck. We've talked about the whole evolution lines, and sometimes what would happen is you'd go to a pre-release, pull garbage, and you would have nothing that you could actually use to make a good deck. So in that respect, this is a little bit better. So it's 4 packs, not 6, my apologies, and you get your kind of pre-made evolution lines, and you make your deck. But unlike in a real tournament, it's a 40 card deck, not 60, and it's 4 prizes, not 6. So you make little mini decks based on what's there. And that really is it with pre-releases. If you've never been to a pre-release and you're worried about it, don't. Everyone's in the same boat. Everybody gets their little pre-made pack and then 4 extra boosters. Everybody starts on an even playing field, which I absolutely love. And because you don't generally have prizes, and look, I know that some stores probably do, but as a general rule, you don't have prizes for it, that means that you get to just relax and not worry about winning or not. Now, what is very, 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 very important here is we need to make sure that you are fully prepared for these pre-releases. So we're going to finish today with a little bit of a list of what you need to take to a Pokemon pre-release. Nothing. You don't need to take anything, but here's what you should take. You should take some sleeves. The reason you should take sleeves, if you play unsleeved, firstly, your deck will be difficult to shuffle. Secondly, your cards will get mashed while you play, especially if you get GXs and holos and all of that. That's a little bit of a pain, so I would heartily encourage you to take sleeves. I would not take 40. Generally speaking, they're sold in packs of 60. 60 should be fine. That'll give you your deck of 40, while also giving you some spare sleeves that you can use to sleeve any holo or cards you really like that you don't put in your deck. Now, my lovely friend Stephen Kent has also suggested you take along top loaders. If you pull, say, Rainbow Rare GXs, then yeah, you're going to really want to keep them nice. So taking along a top loader to allow you to keep them in really good condition, I think is a really good call. So if you can get top loaders, and if you go into your local gaming store, they should sell them anyway. So if you don't have top loaders, you can get them there. You're going to need some dice just to keep track of damage counters. But again, don't worry too much if you don't have dice, because people there will, and people will lend you them, and people are lovely, and your opponent probably will. And it might be a good idea to get a deck box, again, just so you can keep your deck in there just between games. You might want to take 2 deck boxes, one for your deck and one for your extra cards, or just buy a bigger deck box with a divider so that you can put the divider in front of the rest of your cards. The thing about Pokemon pre-releases is they're nice and relaxed. They're good fun. Hopefully I've given you a good idea of what to expect. Hopefully I've given you a nice list of things to take along. But if you think I've missed anything, if you've got any extra tips, chuck them down in the comment section. And if you're going to your first ever pre-release, check out the comment section for some extra hints and tips. But now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for me to leave you, so go play in the comment section, and do make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, and follow me on Twitter at TheWassy, and Twitch at twitch.tv/PTCGRadio. That's where live action happens. And do make sure you're checking out patreon.com/PTCGRadio, where you can get bonus podcasts and you can support the channel if you feel so inclined. And do please check out youtube.com/WassyPlays. We've hit 2,000 subscribers. Yay! I'm delighted, but you know I want more. But by far the most important thing, as always, is to look after yourselves until next time. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.